Hello, hello there, my crafty friends. It is Candy here from sweetstamper.com, and I'm so happy to be with you here today for my second of the week Facebook Live. I come to you every Tuesday and every Thursday at 2 p.m. Central Time with a Facebook Live demonstration. On Tuesdays, it is Teach Me Tuesday, and so we go over some teaching moments there. And then on Thursdays, we do simple stamping, just the basics of stamps, ink, and paper, and then we step it up a little bit, and we take it up a notch, and sometimes add some bling, sometimes add some die cuts and different things. So welcome. I am so glad you're here with me today. Hello there, Diane. I'm so glad to see you here. Let me grab my things to review. As I'm talking with you, I realize my review. I usually like to review what I did the previous Facebook Live, and I needed to grab those things. So we'll give it just a minute while people gather. We have a cloudy day here in San Antonio and unseasonably cool temperatures, which I'm loving. I always love the cool and rather despise the really heavy heat that we get kind of July and August. Hey, Susan, I'm glad you're with me here today. So I have started introducing the new in colors to you. And the way I like to do that is to bring them in slowly but surely. And so Darlene, I know 2 o'clock on the money. I am on time. I was actually ready a little bit ahead of time. Hey, Judy, thank you for joining me here. Right here at the beginning, I will tell you that if you share my Facebook Live, it really helps me. Whether you do that during the broadcast or whether you do it afterwards, it really, really helps me. So I appreciate all of you who are sharing. And like I said, I am introducing in colors a little bit at the time, and I like to do that so that each color gets its own kind of showcase and has the opportunity to really shine and help us learn not only about the new in colors, but how we incorporate them with the colors that we already know and love. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the camera down and see where we get on from there. I appreciate your patience as I have been working with a new camera holder, and it seems to be going well. So, okay, well, that's where we're going later. Let me do a little bit of review first. I do like to show you cards in the mail that I've gotten. And I meant to show you this one. I got this about a week ago. This is from one of my team members named Shirley. Look at this adorable envelope. So she was giving me this gorgeous, gorgeous card. And it is what's called a waterfall card. So she has my little instructions here. That's where the pull is. So, and this is on just a little sticky note, which you can include or not, but isn't this adorable? And this is using the Darling Donkey from Celebration. Hey, Kay, I'm glad you're here today. Thank you for sharing, Diane. That helps me so much, and I appreciate it. Isn't this an adorable card? So a waterfall card is a technique, and you can do all kinds of fun things with it. And Shirley loves to do these complex cards, and I so appreciate her dedication to card making and just her love for what we do. So I wanted to show you that beautiful, beautiful card. And I also wanted to show you one that I got in the mail from another team member, and this is Paulina. Isn't that just a lovely, simple card? And this is just popped up on a little piece here. Well, actually not popped up. I mean, there's a little piece here, but it's just stuck down. This is popped up right here. And this is just a little thank you card. So I think these are bits and pieces that were left over from last time. I did want to show you as well. Oh, Twyla, I'm glad you like that waterfall card. It is very cool, isn't it? So this was what I wanted to show you last time, but it was downstairs. And this was my remake of a card I had done with the Simply Succulents. But this time with some of the new in colors, this being Fresh Freesia and this being Soft Succulent, which kind of is a natural for the succulents. And this is where we went on Tuesday. And I was introducing Fresh Freesia, and you can see how nicely it pairs with some of these other colors. And this was actually, oh, I'm backwards. Phooey. Okay, hang on, folks. Let me come in. I did this, and it didn't take. So I thought I had, okay, there we go. Sorry about that, folks. It's annoying when all the words are backwards. So my apologies. Okay, let me make sure I'm back on and you're not just seeing my tummy. Okay, here we go. So, so yeah, this is a little fun fold that we did on Tuesday, introducing Fresh Freesia. Now, this was the remake of a card I had done for my team meeting, and we actually did this as a, what do you call it, mystery stamping, where everybody got the instruction, well, not the instructions, they got the measurements, probably should have gotten the instructions, but they didn't, and then we kind of went with it. So this was my original. Let me show you, one of my team members, this was the card that she made. Let me pull out all of the notes from inside. This is the card that Sarah made for our team meeting. So this is what I just gave them, the measurements that they needed: a colored cardstock in 5.5 by 4 1/4, a white or vanilla panel at 5 1/4 by 4, and then the flap here, which I think is 5.5 by 2 3/4, and then you score it so that you can make that little fold there. Isn't that sweet? I love what Sarah did with this, and she used the, what's it called? Hydrangea Suite for this. So that beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous grape ribbon and the beautiful hydrangea paper and some of those cute little hydrangeas. So yeah, so 3 different versions of this card, which I felt like were very worthy of showing you. And before I go on to the color that I'm going to introduce you today, I did want to share with you very briefly that I introduced a fundraiser that I'm running for a dear friend and team member. Her name is Martha Sines, and I'm running a fundraiser. Her only child passed away last week at the age of 17. Just a tragic, tragic end in that sense to a fine young man dying at the age of 17. She's incurred a lot of medical costs with 3 years of medical treatments and now laying him to rest and doing so in a way that honors his life. So I've put together a simple but beautiful and very classic card class. And there's 5 cards. You can get the packet mailed to you for $25. Everything is included, all of your die cuts and your punches and everything, all of your designer series paper. You could also come and stamp with me live on May the 8th, and that is a $20. And then you can also get the cards finished, mailed to you for $25 as well. So that is, hey Velma, I'm glad you're here. So this is my fundraising card class, and all of these are the papers and the stamp set and everything are from the January to June mini catalog. So just to let you know about that. Okay, now we are going to look at one of the new in colors, and it is called Pale Papaya. I absolutely love it. I'm an orange girl. I love oranges and yellows, and so this is Pale Papaya. Very aptly named, as I think they normally are. I want to show it to you first of all, comparing to the other oranges. Now this is Mango Melody. Some people call that a yellow. I call it an orange. It's super bright. I don't think it's even, you would not put these two together. Not in my book. This is very pale. This is a very nice pairing. This is Calypso Coral, and this is the way that Stampin' Up! Recommends that you use Calypso Coral as the darker counterpart. Hey, Kathy, thank you for joining us. But I think you could equally pair it with pumpkin pie. That is a very nice pairing. Pumpkin pie with pale papaya is also really nice. And then we have Cajun Craze, which is also really nice with it. So these look really good together. These look really good together. So kind of, if you're looking for the kind of trio of oranges that work well together, I would say probably those three. But this is how it stacks up against all of our oranges together. I think it's helpful to see. As you can see, Pale Papaya is unlike anything else that we have at present. And I think really it's pretty different even from like Peekaboo Peach and some of the ones that we've had in the past. It's, I think, more yellowy than Peekaboo Peach and more a paler version. Now, we are going to do some simple stamping, but I did want to show you, just by way of introducing this color, that we have a couple of different ribbons that coordinate, or well, actually don't coordinate. These are the actual colors. So this is Pale Papaya ribbon. This is called Open Weave. So it is like a sheer organdy in the middle, and then like a satin on the edges. Then there is also another one, which is more definitely a more casual ribbon. It's, I don't know what they're calling this. Woven ribbon is what it's called. And it has the little white edges. So you can see where that's definitely a more casual look. Then this is very, very fancy look. I love it. So I did want to show you that. We're probably going to be using one of these to step up our card after we've stamped a little. Now, although we're using this scrummy new in color called Pale Papaya, I wanted to use one of our outgoing stamp sets, and I confess I meant to look to see if this is on sale, and I forgot. I got sidetracked. I started over to the online store, and then I got sidetracked. I'm using Bloom and Grow, which is one of our retiring stamp sets, and coordinating dies. Yeah, it just coordinates. It's not a bundle. So you can see where the dies, and this is the way it's always depicted in our catalog. It has this gray around it because that's a die that cuts out all of these images and also gives you a couple of scallops. Let me find my set of dies. So the dies themselves, that's going to end up. So you have these couple of scallops too, which are kind of nifty. And these just cut out various portions of the stamp set. Now I'm going to stamp with it, doing some simple stamping. Let me just show you. I've already mounted stamps, but you do get 2 sleeves of stamps with this. So it's a lot of stamps, a lot of really beautiful florals here, and some excellent greetings. You are simply wonderful. Hello. Forever starts today. Let's celebrate you, and thank you from the bottom of my heart, which is the one I'm using today. Now, just very quickly as well, before I start stamping, this is the new catalog. All I can show you is the cover for now. If you have not received one of these from me, if you have not communicated with me that you want to receive one, because I've actually mailed all of mine out that are going out to my customers and my stamping friends, then please just send me a private message or comment here and let me know that you would like to get a brand new Stampin' Up! Catalog by mail. Okay, let's stamp. Clear the decks here a little bit so we can get busy with stamping. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my little foamy mat out here because it is a photopolymer stamp set. And I'm going to use my little color coach that Stampin' Up! Provides for me, and I will provide this download for you. Hey, Virginia, I'm so glad you're here, and yay, you got your catalog yesterday. I hope you're having a lot of fun looking at it. Lots of cool things in there. I'm using this top color combo right here, and it is, let me pull it out here for you. So these are the elements that I'm going to use. I am going to use a little bit of Calypso Coral, but I'm going to use it in the ink and not in the cardstock. So that's my color scheme right there, derived from my little color coach that Stampin' Up! Provides. I do like that this year, I don't think they've done it in the past, but they're giving you actually the years of the in colors, which I think is very helpful for us. Okay, let's see where we're going to go. I'm going to put my little grid paper here because I am going to do some random stamping on the back of this piece of 8.5 by 11 cardstock, scored at 4 1/4, just what we would call a normal card base. Let's go ahead and score it. It's already scored. I do like to score them ahead of time. I kind of just make them that way. And Mary, you got your catalog as well. Yay. So let's do some random stamping. Now I have 2 large stamp images here, and I think I'm going to use this longer one because it's going to go quicker for me, and I usually like quicker. And I'm just going to go tone on tone. So this is Pale Papaya ink on Pale Papaya cardstock, and I am going to ink it up this way because it is a larger stamp, and I find that that is going to just go easier for me. So let's start here. I think I'm actually, yeah, let me do that way. And I'm just kind of taking it to the edge, overlapping it so that it's not fully on there. You see how pretty that is? Just tone on tone. And when you do the ink on top of the cardstock like that, it just really brings out the color, makes it a little bit darker. And I think I'm going to go upside down here now so that I don't have the little kind of spiky bits going out. And that is going to give me a nice surround. You know, when you're doing simple stamping, it's where you really just let your stamps do the work for you. And I love just taking the stamps and letting them be the background of what I'm doing. So a lot of times I will put designer paper here, but you know, this is just a fun way. Let me just do it this way to match my other side. Hey, Crystal, I'm glad you're here. Good afternoon to you. I'm glad you are joining us. We are doing simple stamping with Pale Papaya. It is the in color I am introducing today. So now I have this lovely background, and this is what I'm going to do here, and just put a little gray and a little vanilla. I opted for vanilla. I think these are all really warm colors, and I thought the vanilla would be a nice kind of soft counterpart to this. Would go nicely. Now, I want to actually use Tuxedo Black ink for my greeting because the gray is a little bit softer, and I want my greeting to stand out and really, really be bold. Basic gray is definitely a softer version of a black. So there's thank you from the bottom of my heart. And now I'm going to take my basic gray ink, and I'm going to take the smaller spray of flowers, which fits just barely on a D block. Ink this up, and then let's just go like this so it's not quite, didn't want it too straight. And now, see the difference there between the basic gray ink and the Tuxedo Black ink? The black is much bolder, but I wanted to color the flowers. Hey Judy, I'm glad you're here. Although, honestly, it looks pretty cool, just like this. I mean, you don't really need a lot more. Now, I could, you know, let's just change this up to what I was thinking, and let's do just a wee bit of color. Instead of a lot of color, let's do just a wee bit of color. And I don't yet have my sponge dauber dedicated. So let's just add a little bit of Pale Papaya to the center of the flowers. with a sponge and keep it super, super soft. Boom, what do you think? I'm kind of liking that. And I think, honestly, I was gonna do it like this. I could almost offset it, and it's a little bit nicer. Hey, Marlene, I'm glad you're here. I'm going with that. That's gonna be my simple stamping, because my next one, I'm gonna do a lot more coloring. So what I forgot to bring over here, that is right behind me in my new Facebook Live area. Let's go ahead and do this. And because I want to offset it, I think we'll go like this. But then let's pop this up on dimensionals. And then I think a little wink of Stella. I'm really working hard to keep this stamp sink and paper, and not even an embellishment. I'm itching to put some rhinestones on here. However, I'm going to exercise a lot of restraint here and just keep it right there and not add anything else. What do we think? Is that a pretty good way to introduce? Ooh. I think that's a pretty good way to introduce pale papaya. So now let's take the same thing and let's step it up. Now the way we're going to do that is we're going to start with the same card base, and we are going to stamp all the way around. This is a perfect make and take. You know, if you're introducing people to stamping, this is a perfect way to introduce people to stamping. There's nothing overwhelming. It's one stamp set. It's a couple of colors of ink. It's introducing the new in colors, which are always a great way to help people fall in love with stamping, because there's a set of 5 colors and they come, you know, you can get them singly, but you can also get them in the collection. And that just makes ordering a lot simpler. So I know Judy is on here. She's one of my new team members, and I know that she is looking to introduce some of her friends to stamping. So this would be a great way to do that. Now I'm using one of our outgoing retiring stamp sets, and if you don't have this one, you could either grab it before it's gone, or you could use another stamp set that's in the new catalog. So any kind of a floral stamp set is going to work for this, that has a lot of detailing on it. So I think that's the key here, is you see all that detail that it's picking up. I'm glad you like the offset, Marlene. I will say that I struggle with the offset. I tend to want it to always be like a perfect little frame. But it is nice to have that little offset. So this time what we're going to do is, I had this already cut in my little stack of, what shall we say, little die cuts that I didn't use on something, and so it was already in my little die cut box. So let's go ahead and let's put thank you from the bottom of my heart right up here again in the upper corner. And this time I am going to do, actually, I'm going to do the flowers in the same basic gray, but then I'm going to color them in. And although I could get really fancy and color them in with the blends, I'm going to strategically use the, I'm going to use the Stampin' Write markers. And I'll tell you why. Again, I'm thinking of brand new stampers. I'm thinking of falling in love with stamping for the first time. And I'm thinking of the versatility of our Stampin' Write markers, which sometimes get overlooked because of all the kind of bling wow factor of our blends. So our Stampin' Write markers are perfect for coloring small areas. they do leave a mark behind if you're using them on the larger areas. So, but I am going to do a little bit of what I oftentimes do with my blends, and that is I'm going to go into the kind of veins with the Old Olive. And I'll tell you why I'm using Old Olive. Because when I come over here to this little guy, it tells me right there, if I'm looking for what green do I want to use with these colors, well, it's right there. It's done for me. Instead of having to figure all that out, it's already done for me. Now, the counterpart to Old Olive, the lighter counterpart is Pear Pizzazz. So I'm just going to come behind here with the lighter version of Old Olive, and I'm going to fill in my leaves with Pear Pizzazz. Now, the Stampin' Right markers are a great tool. You can do so many different things with them. And you know, we oftentimes use our blends to color our white or vanilla ribbons, but you can color your ribbons with the Stampin' Right markers. It's what we always used before the blends came around. It's just that because they're our classic ink, it takes a little longer to dry. With the alcohol markers, which is what our Stampin' Right markers are, those dry immediately because it's, you know, it's alcohol. Now I'm going to come in with my Calypso Coral, which I really haven't used up to this point, and I'm going to make the inside of my flower Calypso Coral, and I'm going to come on the ends of these little, I don't know if they're berries or flower buds, but they're gonna be Calypso Coral for me. And then I am going to take my brand new Pale Papaya. Oh, I left one of my little guys out over there. And I'm just going to color this in. See how pretty that is? Isn't that a beautiful color? And you can see how when I pair it with this, how pretty it's going to be. And what I can do is I can just go right over that Calypso Coral. So easy peasy coloring. I don't have to be worried too much about getting everything just perfectly in the lines. Again, this is perfect for new stampers. You don't have to have a lot of equipment. And you could even, takes a little bit longer, but you could ink up your stamp to do all of this stamping just with the side of your marker. Now you don't want to use the tip because it's going to blunt your tip, but you could use that. I have some stamping friends who have really tight spaces, and they buy the markers and not the stamp pads. Now I am too much of a quick and easy girl. That's just not quick enough for me. So you can see how this is coming together so nicely. Let me add a little bit of ink right there. Now you may be wondering why I've left that space. Now I need a little bit of help here. I did cut a mat for this. Do I add the gray? I think I probably should. It does just kind of ground it. That little bit of a color kind of grounds it. Now, shall I add this open weave ribbon, or shall I add this textured ribbon? Definitely gives a bolder piece of the Pale Papaya color, where the open weave ribbon, because it's really sheer in the center, it doesn't give me as much color, but definitely gives it to me in a shinier look. So y'all tell me what you're thinking here. And this is our stepped up version of, here's our original kind of, okay, we're liking the textured ribbon. Darlene is weighing in on the textured ribbon. And Twyla likes the open weave, textured for Velma. 2-to-1 so far. Let me give it another minute or two to see if anybody else weighs in. See, I love it when I give you guys the chance to vote. You always do the textured weave. Okay, the textured weave it is. We'll save the open weave for another project. And let's go with this. And I think what I'm going to do is, instead of making like a big clunky bow or something, Let me show you another little trick. If you just, especially with a thick ribbon like this, I'm just going to knot it in the center like so, and then just pull that so that it gives me that really pretty soft. And you see how that's a much more delicate look than if I put a big, you know, bow on it or something. Okay, so let me go ahead, and I have adhesive somewhere. Let's see if I can find my adhesive. And you know, I think I probably should, even though I'm going to add some bling here, I probably should just do that anyway. That Wink of Stella, maybe we'll do it on all the flowers this time. Because why not? It's just that subtle shine. And honestly, that looks pretty cool, but I think I'm going to have to go straight this time. So let's do, and I think that Wink of Stella might be a little bit damp still, so I think I'm going to put the adhesive on my layer and not on there. And then I'm going to add a little bit, should be dry by now, let's add a little bit of seal to the back just to keep the ends in place. Now, did I get that right? Oh yeah, it's pretty good. Let's bring it down just a little bit. Actually, it's going to be easier if I lay it across that way and then bring the ends like so. You know, the other thing about this method of doing your ribbon is it conserves your ribbon. So if you don't have a lot of ribbon, it's a good way to use it. So let me go ahead and put some dimensionals on the back here. Now I am getting down to the end of my dimensionals. So let me go ahead. These are actually some of my favorite pieces. And I usually kind of cut these in 2s or 3s with a little jagged edge. And those are actually really brilliant pieces. And I do like to put a fair amount of dimensionals because I don't want it to sag in the middle. Okay, so Velma's liking it, Twyla's liking it, Diane, where everybody's happy. Okay, this is where, you know, we put our heads together on this design stuff. I think we make a great design team. Y'all are my virtual design team. Okay, now that is a really good showcase of pale papaya with the ink and the ribbon and the cardstock. Now, last but not least, I want to add some bling, and I've got a couple of options here. Now, I could go with just your classic rhinestones, and they really kind of, in my view, they pick up the gray. But look at these. Now, that might be just too much orange. I don't know. These are the champagne, and they blend beautifully. But they might be a little bit too much. Maybe we need just the clear. So I'm going to wait. And Barbara, I'm glad you like them both. Yeah, the simple is sweet and pretty. The stepped up is definitely the glamorous sister. And this was our color scheme once again. Just a hint of the Calypso Coral. Okay, Darlene's weighing in on the clear. That's what I was kind of thinking too. I think it's too much. Oh, Diane, you love my card. Yay, that makes me happy. Makes me really happy when you love my card. Okay, let's grab. And let's see what we can do with our rhinestones. And I think we're going to make little rhinestone raindrops. Let's see if we can use some of these little ones that are on. Whew. And I've got one more little something we could add, but it might be too much. So let's see. We may be really, really stepping this up, and it may just be too much. Let's see. Let's see. I'm kind of liking it. Now, this is actually looking really good. I'm really pleased with this. Hey, Alice, thank you so much for sharing. I'm glad you're here with us all the way from Indiana. This is part of the fun of being on Facebook Live as we catch people from all over. Now these, I just thought because it says thanks from the bottom of my heart, I could take these little heart embellishments. These are heart charms. And these are actually in our mini catalog, our January to June mini catalog. And I could just dangle a little heart charm from my ribbon. So y'all tell me what you're thinking. Is this going to be too much? Probably can't tell until I actually get it on here. So what I thought to do was just put a little bit of, this is the linen thread, just put a little piece of linen thread around there, and then kind of bring it up under here and see if we can't dangle it just a little. I don't know. What do y'all think? Is it too much? Is it just right? Can I tie upside down like I did before? Or am I going to get myself in trouble? Let's see. I think it's kind of a sweet touch, but like I said, it might just be a little bit too much. I'm waiting for somebody. I know we have to wait. There's like a 30-second lag. I'm not very patient, so I'm waiting for somebody to weigh in. And maybe you're waiting for me to finish this off, to tie it off and see what we think. So let's just clip these little ends and see. Do we like that? Is it a little bit too much? Let me put those behind. I can tuck those behind there with a mini glue dot, which is probably what I need to do so that they're not hanging out. Okay, Velma likes it. Okay, it's that nice little extra. That's what I was kind of thinking, that it might just be that little extra something. And I think because this is silver and we've got the silver rhinestones and then we have this basic gray. So what I need is, I need a mini glue dot. And this is where when you have something that's dangling, but you don't want it to necessarily be like a free fall dangle, that, and you know the thing about these heart charms, I think sometimes these little things get kind of lost in our minis, or actually in any of our catalogs. And what I like about them is they're super flat. So let's just tuck that there. And that, I need those ends underneath there. Okay, there we go. So there's my little heart charm. From the bottom, thank you, from the bottom of my heart. Here is Simple, and here is Stepped Up, both using the new Pale Papaya. You definitely see how when you use the markers, it's much stronger color. And when you're using just a little hint of it with the sponge, it's much paler. But I do like them both. And of course, we did the background stamping with the heart, not the heart, with the spray of flowers. And once again, we're combining a little bit of what's retiring, and that is the lovely, really lovely Bloom and Grow stamp set. Although they're all here, when you look at them, they're actually much larger. So this is not actual size. Because the stamps are so much, there's 2 sleeves of them, they wouldn't all fit on the cover. But look at, you know, You Are Simply Wonderful is much larger. And of course, we do have dies that will cut those out for you, or you can just stamp them and use them that way. Susan, I'm glad you like Pale Papaya. I do too. I think it's just a lovely, lovely, kind of a peach color. It really is. I mean, if you look at this ribbon, that's definitely a peach in my mind. So Pale Papaya, yeah, papaya is a little bit of an orangey, peachy color, and I'm liking it, digging it a lot. This is the color combo that we used, straight from the Stampin' Up! Color Combo. And I did pull in the old olive so that I would have my leaves here with a little bit of green. And I could have made them just gray, but I think that little pop of color kind of helps everything stand out. So that is it for today. Be sure to share my video. It helps me so much. And if you are looking for some retiring things, remember that these are while supplies last. Tomorrow is the last day that stamp sets are guaranteed to be available. And Darlene, let's see, Papaya is filling the void. Yeah, you're missing Peekaboo Peach. And you know what? Here's a pretty good, this is my ribbon scissors, and this is Peekaboo Peach ribbon. This is a retired color. Look at the difference. See, it's a much darker orange, Peekaboo Peach was. So this is paler. Pale Papaya is pale, and I really do like it. Kathy, you love the Pale Papaya. Looks better even in person. I agree. I agree. I mean, I'm doing my best with lighting here, but yeah, there's nothing like having it in person, and that's why even though we can view catalogs online, there's nothing like having it in your hands. So I realize I'm kind of going off my little thing here. Okay, that is it for today. Be sure to tune in on Tuesday for Teach Me Tuesday. And if you are needing something in the meantime, don't forget that I still have catalogs that if you have not received one by mail and you are looking for a catalog, send me a private message or comment here and I will take care of that for you. And I appreciate you tuning in and sharing my video ever so much. I will see you here Tuesday for Teach Me Tuesday, and we're going to continue on our journey with falling in love with the new in colors. Thank you so much again for tuning in. Take care, and God bless.